Unity. You can see it. You can feel it. You can enjoy it with the senses of the soul. But you can't describe it. It is as ineffable as God.
It is not easy to talk about unity. Chiara Lubbock approached it as ineffable, that it is too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words. It is a word which can bring to mind both positive and negative outcomes. It is a word with big, wonderful promises, and a word that has been abused in our times by those seeking to wield power with ill intentions. Unity, however, is a deep longing within every human heart. Jesus also gives his mandate for unity. In John chapter 17, verse 22, Jesus gives his followers his greatest desire and his final prayer to the Father, that they may all be one, as you, Father, are in me and I in you, that they also may be in us, that the world may believe that you sent me. And so unity is part of our Christian heritage. But what is unity from a Christian perspective? Before exploring unity, it might be best to first say what unity is not. First, unity is not uniformity. It is not everyone being, doing, or acting the same. In fact, Christian unity includes diversity, much like the Holy Trinity, which is also a unity in diversity. Secondly, Christian unity cannot be forced. It comes from freedom and love. We are not coerced into it, nor can it be imposed. And so it is not a passive following of others, it is active. We all take an initiative in love to enter into a relationship with others. At its core, the unity we're aiming for is a grace, a gift that God desires to bestow on us. And so we can choose whether or not to live for unity, to do our part to make space for the gift of unity to occur in our lives.
Chi è che fa l'unità?
Who can bring about unity? Unity is essentially, truly the work of God, only of God. Unity is the ideal of Jesus. He came on earth to accomplish unity, the unity of all people with the Father, through him, and of people with one another. So we then, what can we do? We can respond to this universal vocation of all people to unity. We can do our part so that unity truly triumphs in the world. Indeed, it is essential that we do our part. We must always go beyond a purely human way of seeing things and look at all persons in a supernatural way. And to see in everyone, even in my little boy, even in that woman who talks too much, even in that old man who doesn't make any sense, even in that poor person. But is it possible? Yes, in everyone. In everyone. In everyone. We must see them all as possible candidates for unity with God and for unity with one another. We must really open our hearts and destroy all the barriers. We must put into our hearts universal brotherhood. I live for universal brotherhood.
Jesus prayed so that all may be one. Therefore, he prayed not only for the unity of the church, but also for the unity of the whole human family. As people of faith, we can strive then to live in unity with every person we meet, believing that everyone is a candidate for unity. A few years ago, Vince and Maria from Toronto decided to take the initiative to get to know their neighbors better in order to nurture a deeper sense of community for those who live on their block.
We had been living the spirituality of unity, and we remembered Chiara Lubbock saying, everyone is a candidate to unity. So when we moved into our neighborhood, we thought, what can we do here? How can we get to know our neighbors? How can we bring unity to our neighborhood?
We share with our children, says, what do you think if we invite the neighbors, one family at a time, for dinner? So we started with the closest neighbors, and first time they were here, of course, they didn't know us, we didn't know them. So we introduced ourselves, and little by little, you can see the ice melting. So we did this week in and week out. And then once we finished, one of the families said, why don't we have a picnic or a barbecue in our backyard? But it was amazing because at that point, all the families were all together. And some of them didn't even know each other, even though they live in the same street.
So after that, we thought, why not expand our horizons? Why don't we go beyond our street? And the idea to share an ice cream with them came into our minds. We prepared an invitation and we started going from house to house, inviting our neighbors. And it was a success. About 100 people came of every age. And at one point we were dancing on the street.
You see, it's easy to be together, have fun, but I remember very clearly there was a family that came. They were new immigrants here in Toronto, and they needed basically everything. They had no furniture, no. We shared this with our people in our street, and one of our neighbors says, "Oh, it's amazing you're asking this now. We were just about to change our dining room set, which is in very good conditions. And they gave us a dining room set that we gave it to this family, and they were astonished of the generosity they received. But what was amazing even more was when one of the couples, elderly, the wife got seriously sick. So we, together with our neighbors, we had a discussion, what can we do? And it was beautiful because some of the neighbors said, but we can cook for them. So we divided the days of the week among ourselves, and every night, every day, there was a meal ready for that family, that couple. And this went on for months and months.
And they were very grateful for our help, for our closeness, knowing that the neighbors who were friends were thinking of them and cared for them.
It's amazing because in a neighborhood that nobody would talk to one another because everybody was running and always in a hurry. We realized that when we would go out walking, almost in every house, somebody wants to talk and wants to share something, sometimes good news, sometimes bad news, and we became like a family. We felt part of their family, and they were comfortable to share with us what's happening in their lives and give a sense of belonging, you know. And if, for example, one morning I was walking and I was sad because an event that had happened, and one person says, Vince, what's going on? Why you're sad? And I share why, and we start crying together. Yeah, that was the most beautiful moment, I think. They're reacting with joy and sorrow. They make unity. They build the unity that we were looking for. I felt that we had that as a response of us doing very little. Two neighbors here. Hey, this fellow just turned 100 and he still cut the grass.
It's been so beautiful to create this community among our neighbors. And it only took an ice cream to create this small community. And this adventure with them has been continuing for so many years, and we're so grateful and happy.
And these are the two
Yeah.
big fellows here. Did we show the ice cream? No. But we did have an ice
Oh,
cream.
there's a...
Living for unity may seem simple, but it requires ongoing care and attention. To keep the flame of unity alive, some communities come together intentionally, setting aside time to renew their spirits in the unique joy that unity in God brings to our souls. Recently, a group of families in Boston organized a special event for youth called Games for Unity. Thanks to the talents of a local filmmaker, we can get a glimpse of their time together.
So together with other families that want to live for unity, we decided to have a day together, and we called that day Games for Unity. We went to Boston, some families from New York, from Connecticut, from PA, from the Boston, Massachusetts area, and we spent the day having games there.
So as you can see, it's a beautiful day at the Boston Park Plaza, and we're just enjoying nature. We're enjoying our company, how to work together, how to be united, and how to love one another. You know, we help one another making sandwiches. We play games where it really takes a team to really communicate, strategize, and come up with a good plan to compete with each other. But we were competing really to build unity among each team. And that was very powerful. The kids, they learned to listen to one another. They learned to be respectful of each other's ideas, you know, on how to win their games. They really created a lot of connection.
You know, doing the tug of war with someone who's only 2-3 years old and someone who's 80 years old. That was a lot of fun. Only with unity we can do that.
This is more than just having a picnic. And the reality is that we do it from the heart, meaning we go there intentionally, okay, to be like brothers and sisters, and also to pass on this mutual love. We're there sharing what we bring, gathering, getting to know the other person, you know, and building relationship.
What does unity mean for me? Unity means valuing everyone equally, seeking common ground, loving one another. Why do I like it? Because I think we're just happier if we live in unity. And I desire happiness for myself, but for everyone.
You know, when I'm there, is to see Jesus in the other person, to see Jesus in my wife, to see Jesus in my kids, in the other families that I have never seen before, you know, to look at them in the eye and welcome them and make them feel part of it as brothers and sisters, you know, and that's what we do. There's a something there I cannot explain, but it's like a connection, you know, it's a connection that brings a joy to the heart, you know. It's having Jesus in the midst. It's that, you know, it creates another atmosphere.
I like living for unity because it brings everyone together so that we can create like one united world with peace.
I like unity or creating unity because it just makes everybody feel happy and like warm inside, you know? Because when everybody's united, it just makes things better.
It is a choice that we make. It's something that we need to cultivate and practice to get to the point of building unity with others.
And that creates in us a love and a joy inside that is not just like, okay, let's go out to the park and have a picnic, but it's more like being in the same way of looking at life, seeing God first in our lives.
I have attended events like these for many years, and though they might seem every day, and in many ways they are, the experience of unity that occurs is like a fire that ignites the soul. It's often beyond words. It is ineffable as God. If you want to go more in depth in the theme of unity, Focolare Media has many resources available to help you. As always, for more information or to find the Focolare community nearest you, visit focolare.us. Our journey together continues.